Why do I have the click track on? Guys, I have no idea what I'm going to talk about. I kind of just pressed record and I am hoping for the best because contrary to popular belief, I am quite a solitary person. To the person watching this that doesn't know anything about me. To the people who know me, who will inevitably probably not watch the entirety of this. What is going on with my microphone? Okay, so we're using computer audio now because I think either my microphone or both of my interfaces have decided that they're no longer working. So that's really spectacular for me. That's really awesome and wonderful. Thank you guys so much for watching. Contrary to popular belief, as I was saying, I am quite the solitary person. But I have a lot to say. Oftentimes, too much. And so I figure that maybe if I create a paper trail and post it all to the internet, um, someone will find it entertaining and someone will listen, and I may develop the restraint to, in my daily life, shut the fuck up when and where it is needed. So, without further ado, hello! Hey guys! I'm so happy to be here with you all. I I don't know why I'm doing this. This is for show. I'm not using this right now. This is essentially for decoration. Do you like my Invisalign lisp? The fact that every time I say my S's, it's like I have a natural de-esser built into my mouth because I just... So, essentially, I have no idea what I'm going to talk about. I feel like I'm just going to press play, and this is going to be the vibe, and I have no idea if I'm going to make another video like this ever in the future. But I think it would be cool to do this when I can. So, without further ado, I've introduced this a million times. I have a little aromatherapy stick. Maybe this will help me. Chill the fuck out. Proof. I got this for free at like a school thing. They just like have things cuz it's like we're paying too much money to not be given free shit all the time. Honestly, that's my favorite thing about college is all of the I mean, not every college is going to be like this obviously, but my college is absurdly expensive. And so I love it when they do like a little pizza day outside of this building or free ice cream. Yeah, you fucking better. You know what I found out? My school is it gives you like a free massage. One free massage per semester. We have a contracted masseuse. Fucking yeah, don't mind if I do. Me and my wonky ass spine. I was gonna grab my phone to show you my wonky spine, but it's dead right now. And maybe that's at the end of the day what has led me here to where I currently am. Is you can really tell I keep bouncing my leg, and so I'm just like, I need to stop with like the idle animations. It's gonna keep happening though. My phone's dead, and ultimately that might be what led me to do this currently right now that I'm doing. I'll probably jump cut here and there. I think mostly this is just going to be a challenge for me to keep my train of thought. That was me in the moment jumping to another thought that I just had, which is why am I wearing headphones if I'm no longer monitoring my audio because my microphone has itself, I need to stop swearing. I feel like recently I have been very cynical, and I am a very cynical person to begin with. I am always quite cynical. Anyone that knows me will agree with that. And I think it's a lovely part of my sense of humor. And don't get me wrong, I think it's super valuable, and I love a good dark tragic joke. But I do think that sometimes and I mean, dark humor has nothing to do with the amount of swearing. I feel like you can balance those out or have one without the other pretty easily. But I have both, and I think it's gotten a little excessive. I think once you start making jokes about because of any minor inconvenience, it can be funny, but also I think I need to chill the fuck out a little bit. And also just like I need to be able to have a filter. I think people are very like, no, yeah, just be yourself, and like you have to whatever, that wards people off if you're just yourself all the time, and like that's cool. What about an employer? Let's be real. I'm a musician. I have to talk to people, that's part of it, and I'm pretty bad about filters. I'm not as bad as some people. My dad has zero filter. Dad, if you're watching this, I love you, but you have no fucking filter. You need to chill, girl. You need to chill, Glenn. He knows that. Love you. But he has told me in the past that one of the skills that, has helped him out by refining it at his ripe age of 67, I think it is. My dad's 67, guys. Is being able to have a filter. And so I think I need to start being a little more conscious of what I'm saying at times, because around the wrong people, I'll make certain jokes and they'll go, "Are you okay?" And I'm like pissing myself laughing, because obviously I find myself to be hysterical sometimes, and I'm like, I promise you I'm totally good. Like, my life is, oh my god, story time. So I feel like I have a pretty good life, right? Like, my family loves me. Just to give you some context, I have dogs. I love my dogs. I'm studying something I love. I struggled to get here for sure, but I never had to like explain to my parents why I wanted to be a musician, because my dad's a musician. And so it's like, I think I'm pretty good. And currently in my life, I'm feeling better than I have for a very long time. And I posted something to my Instagram story at one point, and this random lady, keep in mind, this happens to me a lot. My dad is famous in Puerto Rico for his music, and so people that I don't know will often respond to me on social media and like hit me up and say things that are entirely too personal, and as if we're longtime friends, and that's okay. It happens. But I'll get a lot of strange interactions on the internet for sure, and in real life whenever I'm home. And this random lady responded to my story about me fundraising for my tuition, which, by the way, leaning into the microphone that I'm not using, you should click the link in the description, and if you want to donate to my fund, you can, because education is expensive. But she responded to one of my stories where I was essentially being like, "Hey guys, please give me money," with a bunch of questions like, "What's your GPA? What are you studying? What music school do you go to?" And I was like, "Mama, it's all on the link. Also, okay, chill." But no, I mean, I think it's fair to ask those details, especially if you're donating to someone's education. Like, but I don't even remember what I said in response. But she goes, "Your aura has always been just so interesting to me. I'm a psychologist, and you just always seem so sad." Okay. Thank you. Are you gonna donate or what, bitch? I'm not having this conversation for free. I just thought it was so crazy. incredulous nature of such a comment to a complete stranger on the internet. I just think it's awesome. I think it's so great that she was like, and she backed it up too. She was like, I'm a psychologist and I've just always been so drawn to how sad you seem on the internet. I post, I shit post to my Instagram stories. Outside of that, yeah, my songs can be a little sad. Did you miss the other 5 posts about me going to like hang out with my friends and be like, oh my god, I love my friends so much? I know social media is a highlight reel, okay? I know that none of that shit's real. But I'd like to think that my shit's real. But also, I only really want to post things that are uplifting and like good. So I'm not going to be out here posting myself crying. Unless it's about something funny. Like the time where I posted a picture of myself crying and it had the caption like, you know, I'd watched another dog video on the internet, because that happens to me. My friend Lee, love you Lee, hi Lee, I know you're watching. My friend Lee will send me like the most heartbreaking fucking like animal posts where it'll be like a, what do you call it? A compilation, not a compilation, but it's essentially a video collage, a reel, a TikTok, what have you, of like pets and like their life, and then at the end they tragically die, or just like heartbreaking stories. And I'll like, and thankfully they always go like, oh, like trigger warning. They won't say trigger warning, but they'll be like, oh, just so you know, like it's low-key kind of heartbreaking, like I'm tears or whatever. They'll say something that indicates that it's sad. And that's when I go, I'm not watching this. Lee, if you've sent me sad animal videos and I've hearted the message that comes after the video where you're like, this is so sad, I didn't watch that shit. I don't want to cry. I'm having, like I said, right now in my life, I'm having a splendid, a grand old time. And so I think for my own peace of mind, my own mental sake, sanity, etc., what have you, I am not going to watch sad animal videos on the internet. So anyway, that's just, again, long-winded ramble about how this lady on the internet thought that I was really sad, I guess. I guess what I post is just that pathetic, and disappointing to the society and the world that we live in. Sarcasm. Slash S? I've never understood the whole, like, slash gen slash... I mean, I know slash gen is like slash genuine, but outside of that one, I don't really get the other ones. Like, I feel like I'm trying to... I feel like an old person. This is another thing about me. I made a video. I posted it to Instagram. It was like my friends in real time. I edited it, obviously. But they were explaining to me the Italian TikTok brain rot. And I have never felt more like an elderly person than I have at my ripe 21 years of age. Because right now I don't have Instagram on my phone. Okay? I deleted TikTok. I have a friend who's like, what, 19? Because again, college. I started a little later, so some of the people in my classes are like freshly out of high school, which is strange to me to be interacting with them. And they'll send me memes. My friend Nick sent me a meme that was like, when you're trying to skedaddle from the two-man, so your boy serenades the huzz, so you can... The huzz? I had to ask him. I was like, what does this mean? And I sent it to my friend who's like 24. He's about to turn 25, I think. And I was like, I am joining your club. I don't understand. And he was like, okay, so you're trying to... Not my 25-year-old friend. My 19-year-old friend, Nick, was like, so essentially, a two-man is like a double date where the goal is at the end of the night, both dudes get laid. But in this scenario, you're trying to skedaddle from the two-man, skedaddle, parentheses, leave. I was like, okay, I'm not that old. You're trying to skedaddle from the two-man, so your boy starts serenading the huzz. Keep in mind, the video behind all of this is like from the Lego movie, where the guy starts singing to distract the bad guys. Again, I've never seen the Lego movie, even though it was of my time, I will admit. I just never watched it. I never really watch movies when they come out. I don't want to pay $20. Trying to skedaddle from the two-man, so your bro serenades the hose. Just say that... I rest my case, you guys. Essentially, I just think it's really funny because I didn't understand, and that's got some comedic elements to it or whatever. Guys, am I funny? Do you even like me? Are you even still watching? Guys, I know you're not watching. It's giving like, every time I tell people this story, listen, I grew up chronically online. So the shift from chronically online to babushka, grandmother that doesn't spend as much time on the internet outside of Formula One and music and like Germa, is quite stark. And so I grew up chronically online, and that whole like, guys, do you even like me? That whole behavior, so Discord. I spent from ages, I'd like to say, and this is embarrassing, 11 to 18 years old. 7 years. 8. Is this thing on? It's not on. 7 years of my life on Discord routinely. And I would take breaks every now and then, but I would go back to it because I was a gamer. Okay? I'm what they used to call a gamer girl. We used to be a rarity, okay? Few and far between. And I grew up in the generation where, honestly, it was pretty common, although I'd still get called slurs and be told that I'm not funny, shut up, you're a woman, women aren't funny, yada yada, even though I was making the exact same jokes as everyone else. But, you know, regardless, I spent a lot of time on there. And that whole self-deprecating thing, every time I tell people about this, they're like, this doesn't happen in real life. I go, of course not. It happened on Discord. And they go, oh my god, you were on Discord? Yeah, I was. Okay? It is central to my sense of humor, my self-concept, and who I am today. Unfortunately. Get to the fucking point, babes. I just am reminded of all those dudes in like your DMs, and if you were chronically online, you'll have experienced this. If you were if you were a woman on the internet, sorry, I don't mean to like draw a line in the sand. If you were a woman on the internet, you had a strange interaction with a man that went a little something like this. You're talking, you're having a normal conversation. Eventually he's like, yeah, I don't know, I'm just like really depressed. I'm like so ugly or whatever. Like, women never want me. And you're like, oh god, okay, it can't be that bad. And they're like, and they'll send a selfie. Again, unprompted. They'll send a selfie and they'll be like, it's okay, like, you can say that I'm ugly, it's okay. I get it all the time. I see, haha. And they're clearly fishing for compliments. And I think one time I got so fed up because this had happened to me already in the past. So I was just like, yeah, you are. Okay, 17-year-old Sado. If I remember correctly, I wasn't telling him that he was ugly, but he just kept bitching about being depressed and then low-key, like, telling me all the ways that he was doing nothing about it. And so I was just like, yeah, no wonder no one wants you. You have to fucking deal with your bullshit before any sane person would want anything to do with you. You know what I mean? I think it's so interesting, and it ties into something that I had read or seen somewhere. The golden age of information. Well, I'm not going to remember where I saw this, but it was essentially talking about how men and women are socialized differently in regards to love, about how with men it is very, pro-capitalism, like workforce mindset of like, you have to do this and be this, and once you're successful, somebody will love you, right? We get a lot of stories every day of men that look like thumbs and they get the girl or whatever, and it's never really hand in hand with, like, the nice guy, Sometimes they're terrible people. And they end up with baddies, with esoteric, strange, weird, rich girl baddies. I don't know, Elon Musk and Grimes. Fucking what? You had a kid with him? That's crazy. Sorry. I had to say it. Point being, men are socialized in a way where it's like, you are guaranteed love if you are successful, if you're not a loser, if you're blah blah blah. Whereas women, it's like, you have to mold yourself. Well, in a way, I guess it's kind of similar, but it's like, men are essentially taught that, like, kind of no matter what they do, love is a guarantee. Like, you can find someone if you get a stable job, if you have a good haircut, or if you, like, even if you don't. They're kind of just, like, taught to feel entitled to it. I mean, I think it goes hand in hand with, like, why they're so weird about getting rejected sometimes and can't take no for an answer, because they feel entitled to it. At least in US culture. I don't want to cast a blanket on the other places in the world, because I don't know, I've never been there. So I experienced a lot of that growing up, of men being weird when you reject them, especially having grown up in Puerto Rico. Latin communities have a whole nother thing with misogyny anyway. With girls, it's kind of like, hey, you're gonna bend over backwards to be the perfect woman, which has nothing to do with your accomplishments or with anything more than just your physical. And you have to essentially ancient torture tactics yourself into changing your body and the way that you speak and the way that you interact with people, so that maybe someday you'll be good enough and you'll receive love. Which I think is so interesting, because when I watched another, I think her name is Anna or Hannah. There is a podcast on YouTube and anywhere that you get your podcast, which I think is so amazing. It's called Wild Geese. Shout out Wild Geese. I love you, girl. Even though I didn't remember your name. I'm very bad with names, I'm sorry. But she was essentially talking about how a lot of modern day Western spirituality is very about, like, dissolving the ego and, dude, take fucking 30 grams of shrooms and trip and fucking just dissolve into a puddle of mush, and then you're gonna learn empathy, right? Because men, it's always that big thing of like, dude, after I took shrooms, man, I realized women feel too. Like, damn. What's that fucking clip of Logan Paul? Where he's like, not to sound like a fucking liberal fucking pussy, but like, women have it hard. I'm gonna put it in here. Me and Post, add it to the video.
Come across like a woke asshole, but like, dude, women have it hard.
So that's kind of like the whole thing, is like, dissolve your ego. Whereas women, historically, have been so taught to like shut themselves down and shut down their instincts and be and provide for everyone no matter what, to the point where it weighs on you and it detracts from your quality of life, because you're constantly taking care of other people or trying to be different for the sake of other people's approval, where that spirituality is not beneficial to women, because we're already taught to make ourselves smaller. And this doesn't just have to be women. This could be like queer people. This could be anyone that's in a caretaking position. I mean, it's not exclusive to the sexes or to the genders. It's just kind of like a thing that is commonly perpetrated in Western culture, and specifically whitewashed Western spirituality. Let's be so for real. Where it's actually not beneficial to go through with that, because we've already made ourselves smaller. We've already stopped trusting our intuition. We've already continuously become people pleasers day in and day out. And so actually, a lot of what the practices that are beneficial to us are more so embodiment practices and things that will build up our sense of self and maybe our ego a little bit, not in the bad way. I mean, of course, women can have bad ego. That's not someone's. I'm constantly on defense. I'm programmed into thinking that some man on the internet is gonna pick a fight with me and be like, you're wrong. Actually, because fucking Jordan Peterson, right? It's like, okay, it's fine. I'm talking to my computer. Nothing's bad's gonna happen. Subtle foreshadowing. Essentially, like, a lot of what that is that we should take up more space. At the end of the day, we should take up more space. And I've been realizing this a lot in my relationships. Just kind of how those spiritual practices impact my life and therefore the way that I treat other people. And once I realized, like, oh no, being honest with people, sometimes brutally honest, in terms of how you feel in regards to them, or like, you know, reject the guy, do it kindly, but do reject him, because otherwise you're going to end up in a very uncomfortable position where he feels lied to, and then he's going to be salty about it, and you're going to feel like you wasted your time and your energy, and you're going to be like, oh, why did I do that? Why did I fuck him? You watching, we've all been there, okay? I'm not crazy. Don't look at me like I'm crazy, okay? God, always do that. I once flew to Des Moines, Iowa for a man. I think I'm gonna end it there.
Come across like a woke asshole, but like, dude, women have it hard.